I certainly have experienced grief as a caregiver, and guilt too, although the grief really occurs to me right now more in my face than the guilt, just because Dave died 2 years ago now, well, a little bit more than 2 years ago. And because he had Alzheimer's, I think I dealt with my grief incrementally, as every time there was another loss, I used to feel like it was kind of like a soccer punch to my gut. And for a long time, I didn't really identify that as grief, which was crazy. And then I read Pauline Boss's book on ambiguous loss. And I'm a social worker, so it's like I should have gotten it, but I didn't get it until I read her book. And so when I read her book, I sat at my kitchen table and I went like, oh, this is loss. And so I'd read her book and then I'd cry, and then I'd read her book and then I'd cry, and realized that I had incrementally really had all these losses that if I would have been smarter, I might have more openly grieved. So that was a lesson to me about it, to see those losses as losses and grief, and acknowledge them and be more open in dealing with those. And then when Dave died, I think I had, by that time I'd read Pauline's book and knew that, he was here and not here, and I could grieve my losses. And so when he died, I thought he had a good death. And I was kind of prepared for that, and so I mostly felt relieved. Certainly missed him, but I'd been missing him for a very long time. In terms of guilt, probably my biggest guilt used to happen once Dave went to a care center. This was after his disease had probably progressed quite a while. And so I would come and I would feed him dinner, and then I'd be ready to kind of like go home. And then I'd look and I'd go like, well, like, let's see, does the dutiful wife stay? And I got like, well, the dutiful wife really wants to go home. And so I would do this cost-benefit thing. I go like, okay, so what's the cost to me if I stay? What's the benefit to Dave if I stay? And so then I go like, I don't even know if there's benefit to Dave because I've been here. It isn't like I haven't been here. I think the cost to me is really like big because I got to think about me. So I would leave, but all the way to the parking lot I go cost benefit, feeling like guilty, like I'm walking out of there and he's staying. But the cost benefit sort of equation would help me, and by the time I got to the parking lot, I was feeling better, like, it's okay, Kathy, you just need to go home and take care of yourself.